up, y'all? It's Risa. So today what I'm doing is I am renovating the first build I ever did in The Sims 4. This build is from September 8th, 2014. It was the first thing I ever put in the gallery. It is no longer on the gallery. I deleted it because the lot is broken. It doesn't think it's a residential lot, or at least it didn't. The only way I could actually place it was to place and to modify, because it didn't think it was any kind of lot type, and it thought it was on a 999 by 999 lot, and it thought that it was 999,999,999 simoleons. None of these things are true. It really just, it was a thing. So my husband, I was showing him what it looked like beforehand, and he was like, wow, this looks like an EA build. And you know what? He was right. I'm not gonna lie. It looks like an EA build. It was big. It was empty. There was no clutter. There was one piece of clutter in the entire house, and it was like a utensils thing. So the first thing I did was I made it shorter, because this was a really long and narrow house for no reason. So I made it shorter and I made it wider. So now it's a little more like reasonable. I messed around with the floor plan a bunch, trying to make it look not so rectangular. I actually ended up cutting out about 10 minutes of sped up footage. That means like that's 40 minutes of footage normally that I ended up just cutting out, because I was doing things like just rearranging rooms. I tried to figure out what was the best like floor plan forever. So for a while, here's where I cut out a whole bunch of stuff. You'll see it in a second, where I like move the kitchen. And then for a while I went back and I messed around with like trying to make it work. So now I just deleted the upstairs. So there were 3 bedrooms. There was the parents' room. There was and then there was a pink bedroom, and then there was a green bedroom. So obviously I think it was like a room for a teen boy and a room for a little girl, I think, is what I thought it was, but it was not great. So they were really just long and narrow rooms. So what I did was I just deleted the pink room completely to kind of just shorten the house a little more. And then I split up the green bedroom into 2 rooms. And then I still kept them pink and green. Just like you'll see, I really embraced, this was called Azure Abode. I made it a blue house on purpose. And I really just wanted to like embrace that, because I felt like if it's going to be called Azure Abode, right, I might as well just do it. Just go all out. So the entire like downstairs, the common areas, like bathrooms, the kitchen, all of that, I tried to keep very blue. But in the bedrooms, I tried to give them different colors to like match their personality a little more. So the girls' room stays pink, the boys' room stays green. And I like give them all fleshed out stories. Basically, Chat and I decided as we were building this that, or renovating, it wasn't just like a build from scratch, but we decided that living here, we have a lawyer dad, I think we did like an executive mom, or she's just like kind of like, she's creative, she's good at many, many things, is I think what we decided, because I gave her like an easel and stuff. And the lawyer dad is like a geek, so I put some Star Wars memorabilia down, because I thought it looked really fun. In the office that I end up making also had to make smaller, and I just like plopped a bathroom in there, because there was like a gigantic bathroom downstairs that also had like laundry stuff in it, but before we had any laundry. So there was like hampers and stuff. So I was like, okay, then in the spirit of things, I will make this a half bath with and laundry room. I end up cutting out the footage of doing all 3 bathrooms because they were boring. And this was a 45-minute long speed build when I cut it down. So, or it was, no, it was only 40 minutes. I was able to cut down to, 28 minutes now? Something like that. Something still pretty ridiculous. One of the big things I really wanted to do was make the front of the house look less monolithic. So I figured what I wanted to do with that was separate the roofs. And I think that helped a lot. So I added this terrace over the balcony instead of having it have the roof over the balcony. I think that looks a lot better. I also considered doing like a, whatchamacallit? Just like, I honestly don't know words for things, but just a roof that's not gabled, like a half gabled roof facing the other way. I considered doing that kind of thing, but it just didn't look right to me. So now I'm just going full out on the Azure stuff, Azure Abode. So I went for like that navy door from Strangerville. And now I add a bunch of these bright blue accents from the base game stuff. And I really enjoyed that. So I want to talk about something now. I got you guys in here being like, oh, it's just going to be a speed build. Nope. I want to talk about something that's happening in the Sims community a lot. I want to talk about like 2 things basically here. And the biggest one is I think we really need to talk about the way that the community doesn't credit other people properly. I had a really bad week this last week. It was really bad for my mental health and everything. But a huge part of that was back in June, I made up a challenge, a build challenge. I was really proud of it. And it was, you build a house, but you can't use an item more than once. So once you use an item, you can't use it again. And I was really proud of it, and I posted it on the forums, and like no one ever responded or even tried it, and I was kind of sad. And I tagged some big SimTubers in it, thinking, hey, if it would be really cool to see them do it because they're all people I enjoy watching. So I would love to see what they do with it. And one of those people was Vixella. And recently, last week, she did a video where she did the challenge, but she didn't credit me at all. Which, like, to be fair, it's a challenge that I looked around to make sure no one else had created it. I very much went around making sure I wasn't making up a challenge someone else already did, because then I could properly attribute it to them. That's just kind of like who I am as a person. And I figure, because it's so easy for the Sims to just kind of like not... We all have the same ideas because it's hard not to. So I'm assuming that's what happened, right? That she probably like put it in the back of her mind when she saw it, and then she kind of probably thought she made it up because she didn't remember. I don't think any of this was malicious. However, Vixella has over 1 million subscribers, and as of recording, I have 38. So if I had been credited by a big streamer like that, that would have been so good for me, right? And I feel like if you have the kind of audience that big SimTubers have, it's kind of your job to make sure that you're not stealing from smaller creators. I feel like that's just something that if you have a big platform, you should be making sure you're not stealing from smaller creators. Like, I don't want to use the word stealing that much because I don't think it is really. But if you think, hey, I'm coming up with a new challenge, you should probably look into it to see if anyone else has done that challenge before. And it's not hard. to just kind of look it up or look on the forums or whatever, because I have it listed on the building challenges thread in the forums. But she's also done the same thing with the original Swatch challenge, which was invented by someone, and it's been on the forums for almost a year now, and she claims to have invented it. So it's, like I said, I don't think it's malicious, but it's something that happens in the Sims community in general. You see people just being like, I did this challenge and, I've been seeing it around YouTube, is what I see a lot in videos. Like, even smaller creators do that. I've seen people doing this challenge a lot on YouTube without ever actually looking in to see who created the challenge. And here's the thing, is that, sure, if, like, Vixella or Lil Simsy came up with the challenge, crediting them is kind of like, I understand it's not something that you feel is super necessary, because it's like everyone knows them. That's how everyone has seen it already. They already know that we're doing this challenge because we already saw Lil Simsy do it. But if you are looking at a challenge, you should probably look in to see who created it, because we have all these people, specifically on the forums, who have great ideas for challenges and stuff like that, and we're doing them a disservice by not crediting them when we use their challenges. I think that's something that's pretty important to do, is to credit people. It's like if someone reposts art and says credit to the creator, right? That doesn't actually help that artist. And this is coming from someone who's had their art stolen as well, right? So that's why this is such like a hard thing for me to watch and to have happen to me again, because I've had it happen to me with my art. So having it happen to me with a challenge just was like, oh, cool. Guess I'll just stop doing stuff now. Like, it feels so disheartening to have, my video has like 30 views max, right? And now someone else has done it and they have so many other views. And that's so frustrating to me, because it's the same content, really, and I'm not getting any kind of credit for it. And it's difficult. And again, we all come up with the same challenges, I get it. So I'm not like begrudging her for doing it. It's just something that's very frustrating, and as a community, I think we really need to work on it. Like, honestly, this is something that we really need to work on so that we're not causing harm to smaller creators. So that's my little soapbox there. My other soapbox that I want to talk about a little bit too is, in the Sims community we have a lot of white people, because this is obviously it's a white millennial middle class American simulator. So a huge amount of the player base is white. But something that I see a lot in the Sims community, especially on YouTube, are white women specifically using a lot of AAVE, so African American variant English, in like ways just to kind of sound cool. And it's really frustrating, I know, from Black creators specifically having to like deal with that, because one thing is that is a whole dialect, right? That's an entire dialect of English that has its own grammatical rules, and it has its own like words and stuff like that. And if you are coming into it and just using words because they are they're popular, you're still not speaking that dialect. You know what I mean? You specifically, if you're just using words because you think that they're hip and cool, and you're using them completely out of context, that is probably incredibly frustrating to the Black creators in the community. Specifically, the word everyone is using right now is sus, and like, come on, guys. Just like, come on, y'all. Just stop. So those were my two soapboxes for today. Let's get back to the build. I'm in the office now, and I'm using some Star Wars stuff because I thought that these holes in these seasons bookcases were like perfect for putting figurines or something there. So I did the Millennium Falcon and the X-Wing because those are both things that, well, my husband is really into Lego and Star Wars. So what we have in our house is a lot. We have it's not currently built, the X-Wing Ultimate Collector Series Lego set, as well as the ones he does have built right now from the Ultimate Collector Series are the Star Destroyer. It's gigantic and it's in our bedroom. And Slave One, so Boba Fett's ship. So this is something where he has a PhD. he's a doctor of physics. So it's something that like professionals will still have that kind of memorabilia in their office. So I figured that this was like a really good way to give the dad some personality. So he's a geek, but he's also a professional. So he has this really nice office in here. I decided he works from home. He's like, he's a lawyer. He has his he works, he does his practice from home and everything. So he needs this nice office. But he's also a geek. He's also just super into Star Wars. And I also put some in his bedroom too, because I think that's great. And I think that's that is the good thing about that pack, is that you have those toys that you can buy on Batu, but they're just in I think they're just in the debug menu. They might be in the regular menu. I don't remember. I think they're in debug though. Under show hidden objects, because that's the only one that I had going for this build, because I do not need live edit objects on just a regular build like this. So now we're in the bedroom, we're upstairs. I wanted to continue the blue because I think that this house is blue because of the mom. I think she's just super into blue. So I did everything blue, like what I made her as a sim as well off stream. And I dressed her in blue, and she's like immaculately dressed. And I put her in a bunch of the Moschino stuff because I was like, she has taste. And I ended up making her in the business career, and I used MC Command Center to make her a vice president, because that's what I feel like she is. She is a high-powered businesswoman, and she has things to do. And also, she's good at painting, and, I was that an R2 unit that I put in? I think so. Because I didn't like the colors on any of the BB units, to be honest, for that. I kind of wish that they had given us the actual orange for BB-8, because that's like, I think it's silly that you can't, but whatever. So yeah, I kind of wanted to make the parents' room a little more subdued, but still blue, because I just feel like that was the vibe I was going for. Because I'm like, why did they move into this blue house, and why is it blue inside as well? Now here's where I do my hallway art, which is, I'm tired of this hallway. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to put up a bunch of these like collage things on the walls, because I'm tired of it. And I don't want to do this anymore. So that's what that is. Now I got to the son's room. I wanted to keep, like, the idea of who he was. Obviously, like, for some reason, yeah, that's the other clutter I had. I didn't just have utensils in the kitchen. I also had a random pile of books on the floor in his room. It was like, what? So, yeah. So I decided, with all the books and everything in the room, I decided he is a bookworm and he is a writer. So I end up giving him a laptop, and he gets lots of books and everything, and he's very serious about it. He's a very neat child as well. He's a teenager, but whatever. But I made him he is very serious about all of this. So I wanted to give him the kind of stuff that I could see someone like that having in their room. He's making it his entire identity. I think kind of like as a way to distinguish himself against his sister, who ends up She's in the next room, and she is all about music and singing, and she wants to be a star. So I wanted to give him like a kind of thing to make him feel very serious, just kind of be like the polar opposite of his twin sister, which I kind of love. I love this kid. I love everything about him. I gave him a frog as well, because I kind of assumed for some reason that he also likes the outdoors. So I think he probably writes a lot about nature and stuff. I don't know. This is just how I created this kid in my brain. I know none of it really matters to the build, but it just felt like it mattered. I don't know. It helps me decide what to build if I think about who I want to live in the house. You know what I mean? So just being able to be like, this is a teenager who's into writing helps me fill out this room in a way that feels more authentic. And I just like making stories because that's who I am. So here's now the pink room, which was actually like the easiest room in the house for me, because once I got the idea of why she had like this pink room, because that's the thing, is that in the original room, it was all pink. Everything was pink. The lamp was pink. The bed was pink. Everything. So I was like, how can I take that, the spirit of that, and make it more like fleshed out? And I just decided that's her shtick, right? She gets the Freezer Bunny guitar. She gets a microphone because she sings, and she also has a keyboard, and she is just super into music. Because that's just who she is. She wants to be a star. She wants to be a musical genius. I think is what I ended up going for her. But I think she also wants to be famous. So I loved the idea of having that microphone there, and she like sings into the mirror and stuff to kind of make it like really kind of cute. But she's not like giving up on like school or anything too. She wants to be like everything she can be, right? She's a classic overachiever, and that's just who she is to me. And I really enjoyed that, and what that kind of made her, and that really helped me make this room feel more authentic. Because I had friends like this, my sister and I did a lot of theater when we were younger, and we knew lots of people like this. So I wouldn't say they were our friends, but they were people we knew. So I really wanted to do that. I realized I like using rugs in rooms because I think it really like ties together the space. But I also know that I gave them carpet, so I just didn't think, I know people are weird about rugs on carpet. In my life, we've used rugs on carpet in my parents' house because, well, my parents had really shitty carpet. They had like this Berber carpet. I don't know if you've even heard of it. So it's flat. It's flat carpet. So rugs make sense. You know what I mean? So yeah. So we always had rugs and everything. So it just kind of feels like something you can do on carpet. And I know a lot of people don't agree with that. But, I think now I start doing the outside of the house, and doing the outside of the house makes me feel really good because I feel like I've gotten so much better at landscaping than I used to. Like, if you watch some of my earlier videos, my landscaping, it leaves something to be desired. Honestly, I used to just use hedges everywhere. Like, I wouldn't put any effort into plants or anything like that. I would just be like, okay, how do I fill the space as quickly as possible? And I would just plop down hedges everywhere. And I think I've really grown in the way that I do. I mean, I still use a lot of hedges in this build because it was a 3-hour stream, which I try to keep my builds to 2 hours because it's easier to edit down and it keeps my attention better. But this one, I was just super into it. And so was Chat. Chat was really helpful to me with this build. They were all so excited because they were like, wow, that was a really shitty house before. And look, you made it livable. I was like, thank you, Chat. They were all being so nice to me. I'm like, I appreciate you. Which, if you want to ever be present for my builds, I build Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12:30 Eastern on my Twitch channel, Crawlmeister Sisters, if you want to hop over there. So I feel like when I look at my, see, I was like, do I just use hedges? And then I was like, no, I don't like it. I want to actually do some stuff. And I feel like watching the two people who I watch their builds, and they've helped me a lot with getting better at this, are Miss Griffey and Avalyn. They're both really good at landscaping, and it has helped me a lot figuring out what I like to do and what I think looks good and realistic. So I am getting close to the end of the build, so if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a big ol' thumbs up and leave a comment telling me how you feel about the topics I discussed in this build, even. Or the build and be like, wow, Risa, this sucks. I don't know. You do you. You leave whatever comments make you feel good. And I'll probably just ignore them if they're bad. But you know, if it makes you feel better, do it. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If this is your first video watching me, I'm sorry everything got really... I don't usually get this preachy in my videos, I promise. I generally just talk about The Sims. I promise. So make sure you subscribe and hit that bell button so that you get a notification every time I post a new video. As I already said, you can catch me on my Twitch channel. I stream pretty much every day except for Sunday. The days I don't stream The Sims, I end up actually streaming. I do a lot of Nancy Drew games and other point-and-click adventures. This October, I'm going to be doing a very fun stream of... I'm going to be trying to 100% Life is Strange. I've already played it before on the channel, but... and I'm going to let chat make all my decisions via poll, so you might want to catch that. That's going to be really fun. So I'm about to go into screenshots now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace out, y'all.